starting. So you've reached S.J. Thomason with Christian-Apologist.com. And today I'm very excited to announce that I'm here with Joshua Brister and Andrew. Can you pronounce your last name, Andrew?
Sure, it's Stratelates. I'm Andrew Stratelates.
Andrew Stratelates. And also Craig will be joining us in just a little bit. So today we'll talk about a number of different topics. We're all Christians, and so just to get that out there. And so we're going to chat about, first off, victim cultures, because it's something that a few of us have been chatting about on Twitter, and there are some articles on it, and it sounds like Andrew has a pretty good handle on what that is. So I guess maybe we should turn it over to Andrew, if you're ready to chat about that. Andrew, what do you make of what might be going on today as far as people really idolizing victims in a way?
Sure. Yeah. So basically, the way I would describe it, a victim culture is one where being victimized is lionized or cultivates special status, such that beyond like normal compassion, right? That in some sense, the person who's the greatest victim needs to have whatever they're demanding assuaged so that they're no longer victimized. And I think it's pathological. It's a bad culture to have, and it seems to be being cultivated by certain aspects of American society specifically. I don't know internationally. I'm an American, so that's what I'll speak to. But basically, the idea is that what isn't important is your honor or your character, but just who you are as whether or not you're a victim, right? And then this additional wrinkle on top of it is sort of a Marxist analysis that it doesn't matter necessarily like the individual actions that occur to you, but whether or not you're of the category of victim or not victim. That makes it, that becomes the most important part of interacting with people rather than who they are as an individual, right? Because to use an example, let's say there's a white man on the street corner who is homeless because, let's say that he got victimized, right? Let's say that he got robbed, that he's a widower and his wife has passed away, and all these horrible tragedies have occurred to him. Those are fundamentally more important to how we interact with him than the fact that he's a white man, right? Those details don't matter as much as the specific life circumstances that he has.
I think that's very perceptive of what you just said. I do believe scholars such as, we have already, the title, as the title suggests, Jordan Peterson, I was listening to a discussion of him and today, and when I teach world in the United States history, I try to get that point across that we need to all take responsibility. And before we try to change the world, we need to make sure that we're cognizant of what we're doing, that we get our own house in order, so to speak. It's very funny. You use the word pathological. I just posted something on Twitter, and this might take us in another direction. But I was asking, is atheism a type of pathology? If it's not seeing, patterns in the world, patterns that build our character, can shape us, and what shapes us is not just our immediate, surroundings and our immediate perception abilities, but our whole history, our whole lives, and theology is one thing that shapes that hierarchy of values, and we all live according to that. So I think if a person's not willing to take responsibility for one's actions, or not willing to look in the mirror before he, judges the world, it's almost as if he's or she is ignoring the reality of natural theology in a person's life. That we can see in the world that there is a way to act, and we all intuitively know it. And I think Christian theism does give a sound justification for that.
Can I go ahead and respond to that?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, no, I definitely agree, and this is one point that I'm in full agreement with Jordan Peterson, that fundamentally the way that we have to live in our culture is fundamental to the spiritual orientation we take, right? And you said that atheism is a pathology, and I agree. Specifically, it's a spiritual pathology, disorientation towards the fundamental ultimate reality, right? Which for Christians is Christ, Logos, both in the person of Jesus of Nazareth and as the word that brought forth all of reality. That this type of model of the world as with victims and victimizers, or oppressors, let's call it victims and oppressors, is really, really low resolution, right? It's black and white. You're either a victim and therefore to be protected, or you're an oppressor and to be attacked. And Jordan Peterson talks about this, and it's sort of his fundamental critique of Marxism, that it allows this orientation towards people not to take them as an image of the divine, right, which is the Christian understanding that each individual is an image of God, and that when we meet the stranger, in some sense, we are actually meeting God, or one who is an image of God or an icon of God. But that we can categorize basically as someone that we need to destroy or stop, or someone that we need to meet the needs of. And this is sort of the fundamental thing, right? That Christian theism teaches this, and it's sort of in the air for our society. But once that source of that air, that the oxygen tank, or the tree, let's call it the tree of life, that is theism, and more specifically Christianity, to uproot that, you're not going to get fresh oxygen to keep with these habits and routines being.
Just to say, you are breaking up just a little. I wonder if you can work on that. But Andrew, it's very nice to have you. I don't believe I know you. We have a mutual friend, SJ. We are talking about. Well, I'll let you, Andrew, go ahead and explain, or Craig, or no, actually, it's Andrew. If you want to add anything, Craig, you can go ahead. Well, I think the cat got everybody's tongue in here. Well, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, SJ apparently has left the call too, and Craig is still coming in. But yeah, I mean, I guess the fundamental question, right, is if you are a Christian, right, and take Christianity as true, the way that you orient yourself to others is not in a orientation of victim and oppressor, but in one of compassion, justice, and mercy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good way, to look at it. I think it was the phenomenalist that said when we look at reality, there's a near infinite ways to look at it. And what we need to do is have a grid. We all have a grid, an interpretive framework of which to understand reality, to interpret reality, and that shapes how we see things and interpret the world. If someone says some things are really not bad or really not evil, or try to divide a person in according to a specific class or by gender, or play identity politics, they're not being truthful, intellectually honest, and truthful with this element that we all know to be true. I think we all have a sense of the divine, and we can all understand this natural way to understand things, this natural theology that binds all of us. I know that's a little off topic, but yeah.
No, I think that sort of hits the nail on the head, right? And this sort of comes into this understanding of obligation. Also, how's my sound right now?
It's very good. Very
okay,
good.
Excellent. And this is sort of the fundamental divide between theistic systems and atheistic systems, right? That in theism, even in something like Roman paganism or Confucianism or these other systems that have a sense of divine that is not as well articulated as in the Christian system, there's this understanding of obligation to the divine. And since moral actions are obligatory, it's not that they're just good for you or preference